Welcome to Textala by Pavi. Our today's topic is IIFE, that is immediately invoked function expression. So what is IIFE? So IIFE is a function that is defined and executed immediately after its creation. Means whenever you are creating the function, that time it immediately get executed. Let's see it in example. So I have this function here, right? Function keyword. This is how normally we write IIFE. Okay, now I am not calling this function. So if I run this program, I will get hello. So it is immediately getting executed. That is what if it is. Second thing, suppose I want to write this in arrow style, arrow function style. What I can do? I can write arrow function inside this first body, and then here I can write this another bracket. This is my arrow style if we arrow if we. So why should we use if we? To avoid polluting the global variables. Variables inside if we are private. That means suppose I have some variable here, that is whenever you are creating any variable here, right, on the top, it is created as a global variable there. Okay, and this variable can be accessed and modified by any variable, any function or any callback or event, right? So to make it private, we can make use of IIFE. Okay, it maintains the data privacy. It likes as a private scope. For example, if I'm declaring this a variable inside this first function, right, I'm trying to access its value from outer function, so other function. If I run this, I will get error a is not defined, because a is defined in first scope. This is not allowing it to move outside. So that is what if is. Second thing, it is immediately executed. You don't need to call it manually. And before ES6 module, if you want to be used to structure the code, but after ES6 feature, that was module, we don't need to write if kind of function there. And also the main purpose is, suppose you have multiple files, right, and you are creating some variable on the top of it. So what happens, whatever the last file is, that will override your variable. So in that case, IIFE will be best, because it will maintain the privacy of your variable and data members in your projects. So another example is like, suppose I'm creating another parameter. For example, I'm passing some parameter like this function. Then here I'll pass some name, and this name can be passed from here. Okay. So if I try to print that value, console.log name, I will immediately get that value here, name Praveen. Right. This is how we can pass the value to IIFE, and also we can return the values from IIFE. Let's see how we can do. So I will create one IIFE example here. Let counter equal to one IIFE function I will create. Okay. Inside this function, I am going to have some logic there. For example, let count equal to 0, and here I am going to return two methods. Increment, it is going to increment the count, and decrement, which is going to decrement the count. I will use a pre-operator here. Okay, I will decrement this pre-operator I will use. So now suppose this is right. Now I want to test this thing, right? So what I can do, this counter is exposed as if, right, it is returning some value. So counter is returning increment and decrement to function. So if I try to print this value here, console.log counter.increment, see I am getting this value. I got 1. Again, if I do this, I'll get 2. So you see it is maintaining the state of this count variable inside the scope, and it is trying to increment that value. Okay, that is all what it is. Basically, it is a real use case will be polyfill. We have multiple JS file and you have to combine all these things. Then we need to do some initialization setup kind of thing. That time we can use IIFE. Avoid variable clashes in large code bases. There also we can use IIFE. And with the help of modular pattern in ES6, IIFE has been removed. Means IIFE we don't need to write anymore. So yeah, that's all about IIFE. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.